talk, or you won't be walking anywhere, ever.
No way! You gotta answer for dropping me off that rooftop, buddy!
No, you have to answer to me.
Right, I'm with Ben, the senior producer from Montreal, and we're going to be chatting now a little bit about what makes Batman Arkham Origins the next big Batman game. Now, first of all, for you guys in Montreal, this is your first time rebuilding a Batman game from the ground up. What kind of challenges did the team face in taking on their first big Batman challenge? I mean, you've made the one game before for the Wii U, but now this is the next one.
That's the real thing, right? Oh, I mean, the challenges were, they never stopped, but that's sort of what's exciting about making games in general. It was new, everything. We had to build a team. When I started, we were 15 people, and the clock was ticking because we knew that this game was coming out on this day. Like 2.5 years ago, we knew that, right? So we had to get going. We had to build a team, and there was a moment where I think we all sort of came together and really realized that we could do it. We were making something that was going to be truly good. It was an internal milestone. That was a little slice of the game, a slice of the game that you will actually play, that we developed, way back in our first sort of spring and summer together, and we used it as a benchmark to sort of set our quality objectives, make sure that we'd sort of ironed out all the kinks in our production practices, and we showed it and we played it and we presented it to all of the sort of executives, and everyone just looked at it and just said, yep, you guys get it. You get what an Arkham game is, so make that. And that was a pretty strong sort of confidence booster for all of us. And then it's been, running full tilt ever since.
So let's talk about some the journey in the game. It's setting kind of Christmas time, which is sort of an interesting juxtaposition because Christmas is meant to be quite happy. So let's talk a bit about the design choices for the background of the game.
Well, yeah, exactly. Christmas is supposed to be happy. And I remember the meeting, sitting down with the creative director, Eric Holmes, scriptwriter, Duma, a couple of our senior designers, our art director, talking about setting and just, we wanted a premise, we wanted a setting that would be immediately identifiable, that people could look at in a screenshot and say, oh, that's Arkham Origins, gotta get that game. It didn't just look like another Batman game. As soon as we said Christmas, you could just see, everyone across every different department, art, music, design, everyone there, the light bulbs just suddenly went off in their head of well, I could make Christmas ornaments. Well, I could put in Christmas music. Well, I could write, about, Christmas tropes and whatever. And every different department suddenly had these wonderful ideas about how they could take that setting and translate that into their specific disciplines to create something unique and something memorable. And that's kind of the thing that we were going for, right? The Gotham is this horrible location. Christmas is this wonderful time of the year, and you put the two of them together, and there's that kind of emotional disconnect between the two, which we think is a wonderful sort of canvas upon which to paint our game's story. So
lots and lots of new features, aside from new weapons, and a huge cast as well that really takes from the deep kind of DC comic universe. But let's talk about that multiplayer.
Well, so the first thing that we knew was we wanted to make a multiplayer component to the game. We wanted to bring Origins, or we wanted to bring Arkham rather, into the online space. The idea was what core fantasy of the Arkham games can logically translate into the online space. And so, well, maybe we could do this, and maybe we could do this, and we explored different ideas. But the one that, really stood out, the obvious one, was definitely that Predator experience. You're Batman, you're up in the rafters, you're sneaking around, and down on the ground below you is friends, right? The idea of, instead of being random thugs, it's actually friends, and they're trying to find you, and you're trying to hide in the shadows. There seemed to be something neat about that. So after, development and iteration, was born this concept of the 2 versus 3 versus 3 mode, where you have Joker and his gangs and thugs, and Bane and his gangs of elite mercenaries fighting for control of key resources, and Batman and Robin cooperatively trying to stop either side from successfully taking over that key resource for whatever reason. And so you have these really epic matches where two players in a third-person shooter using cover mechanics and swapping out weapons and upgrading their weapons in partnership with Bane are fighting against two guys in third-person shooter mechanic partnered with Joker, and then Batman and Robin using sort of true Arkham mechanics are trying to stop both of them. We have a group of 8 people. They sit down, they play whatever it is, a 10-minute match. Then when it's done, they spend about 15 minutes talking about the match, right? Oh, remember when I was just about to hit you, man? I saw you up in the rafters, and I was just about to snipe you, and then Robin came out from underneath the ground. He pulled me down. He took me. Oh, man, that was awesome. And it's wonderful to hear people sort of, express the little mini stories about the match that just took place, which for me is always, it's a sign of something special, something good, when people are anxious to kind of talk about it, those sort of water cooler moments. And one of the things that I was always really excited about with this online experience was how many water cooler moments it seems to generate.
Well, there you go. Thank you so much for your time, Ben. Good luck with everything Batman related in the future, and of course with Montreal Studio for WB. So there you go, guys. You can join us, and don't forget to tune in to the Access YouTube channel, youtube.com/PlayStation Access, for even more videos from everything PlayStation.